Hello animals, I'm Fox Peso and I need a brief break. So for this video, I'm going to respond to a few questions and comments they've left me over the past few weeks. This video is brought to you by the Fox Peso Coffee Club. More on that later. So without further ado, let's go through the comments. First off, let's go through the In the Air Part 1 video. Emily the Chipmunk said, I'm amazed you got to first at the airport. You've got connections.
Thing is, you don't need special permission in most airports. This was in San Francisco, so they've seen plenty as it is. The truth is, once you're through security, you're basically good to go. Granted, this isn't a partial, and at most I'm wearing a head and a paws versus a body, and having a camera on hand helps too, but really, there's nothing stopping you from wearing a suit in the airport. On the plane, however, I keep it on my boarding and then take off the head once doors close. Due to the need to put on an oxygen mask, it is unwise to wear one for the whole flight. Lakota said, very informative and got a couple of laughs out of me. Definitely worth watching to make traveling easier. I'm glad you watched, but what do you do to book flights? I know you fly Spirit. Spirit's okay. Up next is my pain of a video, how much it is to do every FurryCon next year, or this year. Got a few responses from that. RK9er said, I was curious what would happen if you took a flight to from Yao. We're taking from Yver, Ottawa, and Vancouver. It's the same more or less once you factor in the cost of a train or drive from Vancouver. The benefit of such a trip, you won't have to go through US Customs during those Yver and Yule connections. Honestly, I'm surprised how expensive air travel is in Canada. Is it a duopoly or something? Your options are very limited up north and it's baffling. What is it with Canada? I thought you were the cooler American country. Yorek Bjornson 08 said, great insight in this video. Technically, I'll only be attending one FurCon, 3 anime cons, and 1 Comic Con for 2023, but this video mostly applies to me. Thanks for the info, and keep the great job. Happy New Year. I'm glad you found this useful. I'm not sure what cons I'm doing myself this year, but I hope you have fun. Salami Inhaler said, I feel so lucky to be so close to MFF. Thank God I don't gotta pay that much. Being a local to a con is always a blessing. I do miss living down the street from FC. David Divad Bedola said, Golden State FurCon is my first convention. I'll be attending April 7th. I'm excited to go and see all of you furries. Sweet! If I go, I hope to see you there. Next, it's the second airline episode. Zoji Bear said, Fox, this is good info. I have pre-check and it's a godsend. Once you have pre-check, it is really hard to fly without it. I hate that Cola said, flying scares me a bit. Flew back and forth between SeaTac and Miami, Florida a few times. Then we went to the 30-foot motorhome and I drove it from Miami to Florida to Everett, Washington. It was a really fun trip though. My significant other at the time was too scared to drive a vehicle that big, so I drove all the way lol. We had 5 cats with us too. That is some kind of adventure. Sorry that flying is scary for you. And I'm curious, what brought you to Miami all those times? Up next is comments from the train episode. And I guess a lot of you are just really interested in trains. Because I got quite a bit of response not only on YouTube, but on Telegram too. Pack said, that's a big train. I love my superliners. Greg Amora said, American nature is so beautiful. Wow. Yes, it is! I really should explore my backyard more when the weather improves. Emily the Big Chick Mug said, I did a train to Seattle. I'm thinking about taking it to AmeriCon. Wow, that's amazing. I want to do more train trips sometime this year too. Would you guys be interested in seeing some Fox adventures on a train perhaps? Tobias Kohler said, for 30 years I went to almost all of my conventions by train except some overseas cons where I flew. I once took a ferry to a con that was close enough and I could go there by bike. I'm gonna assume you're European with that context and I envy you. Richard K9er said, sorry Via. To be fair, they only have decent service on the Quebec-Windsor corridor. I've used them to head to cons in Ottawa and Montreal, and it's cheaper than flying and travel times aren't much longer. Again, what is it with Canada having terrible transit options? I even looked at doing the Canadian, which is their cross-country train, and it costs more than the equivalent on Amtrak. This video garnered a lot of response on a variety of Telegram groups as I mentioned before, so I figured I'd read some of these here. Next slide said, I took the Amtrak from West Palm Beach to Raleigh many years back. Good grief, that was a test of endurance. 20 plus hours with one bathroom between the two of the cars. The rudest passengers I've ever been around. Nope. Yikes. I'm sorry you dealt with that experience. Any mode of travel will bring out the best and worst of people, so this could have happened anywhere. As such, I highly recommend giving the train another chance, because I can attest that rudeness isn't normal. Peyote says, I've done the Cleveland to San Luis Obispo twice now. I appreciate Amtrak to California more now, and I do appreciate how neat Amtrak fleets are though, way better than Superliners. Amfleets are nice, but they don't have any domes. Bring back the domes, Amtrak! Davin said, we have a small private train in my hometown. We've done murder mysteries on it. Lots of fun. I want to do this sometime. I'm actually curious to see if there's anything in Seattle for this. Oh, no there isn't. Boo. Canem said uncommon only for American furs, lol. UV Cortex said, I took the train to MFF, the train to Chicago and back again. It's my preferred way to travel. One thing I do miss a lot about growing up in California was the train service. I do miss being able to book a ticket to visit family and friends across the state without much fuss. It really spoiled me into thinking the rest of America was the same, but unfortunately not. Zeophonik said, if Amtrak wasn't so expensive for a round trip, I would do rail all the way. I drove one from Kalamazoo to Michigan City, Indiana, then took the Wolverine line to Union Station, Chicago, while immediately getting lost since GPS wasn't common then, and then taking a blue line to Rosemont, Illinois. I'd absolutely do it again. I despise driving through Chicago at any time of the day. Driving 90 miles significantly cut the cost of rail overall. Yeah, I never really did long-distance trains until I was in college, and never really did it again until I had disposable income to pay up for a sleeper. Trains aren't cheap. Unfortunately, it's not a cheap option. If you're in college, Amtrak offers student discounts to help reduce the costs. And now, we have some questions. Hitsu the Foxy asks, how long have you been a furry? Since 2006? I considered myself a furry as soon as I found out what it was, but I didn't become much active until later though. Wonder Dog asks, intact or cut? While I do appreciate a pure coffee bean and the aroma it provides, cutting them up into grounds does make it easier to make the drinks that keep me going. Eric Byrne, Isolm86 says, what do you think of this Kyo the Wolf coming back? He wasn't on my radar, and neither should he be on yours. Browning asks, are you in fursuit? Lufus asks, what's a memorable coffee shop you've been to not in Seattle? Gosh, honestly that's a good question. I really can't narrow this down, but there's the one that comes to mind in Beaverton, Oregon that had themed drinks. It was a nice hole in the wall. Dale the Dragon asks, favorite ride or activity at Disney? My favorite attraction? Disneyland Space Mountain. My favorite activity? This is tricky as my favorite thing to do is an activity as much as an event, but I really love the California Adventures Festivals. Good food, fun performances, make the park feel alive. As for actual activities, people watching. Honestly, when you become a pass holder who visits a park and at times, the more you just want to take in the atmosphere and watch how others experience their day. Sifidoo asks, what is your favorite color? Blue. And there we go! Thanks to those who submitted questions and commented on my videos. If you like this stuff, then I recommend that you support me by joining the Fox Special Coffee Club. For just a basic single level donation at $3 a month, that's 1 cup of coffee, you get access to videos 1 day ahead of everyone, works in progress, and access to an exclusive Coffee Club Telegram chat. For a little more, on the W level for $6, you get exclusive content that just can't make it on YouTube, get early access to content 2 days prior to the public, and special goodies! Special thanks to those 2 members of Fox Special Coffee Club, and even more thanks to Lupus the Raccoon for being a Doppio member. You have no idea how much it means to me. Next video should be coming out in a week or 2. Until next time,